BeaverCountyRadio.com. And now, here is the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
We got a lot of questions today. You guys showed up, and I'm armed for bear. It's Ask the Commissioners. Jack Manning is here. Tony Amadeo is here. Dan Camp is here. Good morning, gentlemen. Good to see you. Good to be seen. This is being live Facebook streamed, too. Everything okay?
Perfect over here.
Yes.
On this side.
On this side. Yes.
Okay.
We're doing good, Eddie.
What are you saying? Things are twitchy on my side?
I will tell you, on my drive in, I was listening to the radio, and it looked like you had a couple of power blips or something here, and maybe scrambling a little bit this morning.
Well, here's what happens.
We'll filibuster for you.
This is perfect. Here's what happens, and you guys know this. There's no such thing as analog anything. Mm-hmm. So when the power went out briefly a couple times. Yeah. And what happens is when it comes back on, everybody, all like rats, go to different rooms and start seeing what works and what doesn't. Is this work? Yeah, it's work. But you guys were a good omen. Everything's working so far.
All
right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and start with this. I'm sure you're all aware of the road closure in Beaver Falls and people putting up barricades and people going around barricades, and now people are putting up tree limbs in there.
Well, I
did see that. As commissioners, is that anything that you can do?
It's a city road, and all I saw was what I read. Mm-hmm. And I do use that route quite a bit when I'm coming across the county to get down into Beaver Falls. So I would have to refer to Chief Johnson or City Manager Mick Jones or somebody for an explanation. I don't know what's going there. All I heard was there were a series of accidents, so they've closed the Ross Hill entrance into the town,
Dan,
or exit.
Yeah, I'll ask you this. How, on a daily basis, do the commissioners deal with infrastructure questions like this? See, Jack, you're much more polite. I would have said, hey, not my problem. But
it's my problem because I use that road. Yeah.
Okay.
So my problem's the same as everybody else's problem that's having issues like, hey, how do I get downtown?
Dan, how much time do the commissioners spend on real-world issues for people in Beaver County like this?
I'll tell you, we spend a good amount of time, but the ladies in our office, Nikki, Cindy, and Brittany, They deal with the front end stuff. They're the ones fielding the calls, and they pass the message on to us if they can't handle it. A lot of stuff is usually handled, as Commissioner Manning said. It's sent to the municipality that's occurred in, or if it's a state issue, we find out who the state representative or senator is in that municipality, or if it's a federal issue. We have good working relationships with both Congressman DeLuzio, Senator Casey, and Senator Fetterman's office. So we're able to pass those messages along, whether it's one of us doing it or one of our ladies in our office. We're able to help out normally.
Yeah, we give PennDOT issues to Tony. He handles any.
Okay, how much salt does Beaver County have, Mr. PennDOT connection?
We don't have very many roads. We have bridges that need
That's
to be
a bad first start. Well, we don't have a lot of roads.
We don't. We only have 5 roads and 62 bridges.
Yeah,
Beaver County does.
Yeah.
20, 25 miles of county roads, maybe something like that.
Once again, levels of government.
Yeah.
We talked about this many, many times.
We probably have a lot of salt this year, though, because I think we have some left over from last year.
Yeah, we didn't use.
We buy the blanket. It's a purchase order, so we got a large amount this year, the same as we did last year. But what we don't use, we have salt sheds. So
as long as you don't get it wet.
Yep.
As long as you don't get. Well, then it clumps up.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't.
Has Beaver County, or have you guys ever thought about the brine solution?
Well, it's only come up with the new concrete work, actually around the courthouse.
Okay.
As a substitute with new concrete, you don't want to put anything that would damage the concrete before it's had a full chance of cure. So we are looking for alternatives in brine, and some other things have come up as a better solution for the steps and the walkways. I think that's about it, though, right?
Because the salt definitely pits it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, salt, it corrodes away and eats everything. Is this a busy time of the year for the commissioners, or does it slow down a little bit when things get colder?
Only
or do the
once
problems...
every 4 years is this a busy time.
Okay.
Usually budget time is always, this time we're doing the budget every year, so that's always
Right, but it's not
a lot
as
of extra work.
involved as it was in the prior years, where we had direct involvement in every single line item. We have a guy named Corey that puts all the stuff together for us. Everything's submitted to our office, and then he goes through and makes semi decisions, and then he brings them to us with the final decision. But it takes the burden off of us immensely. We make the final decisions, but he takes the legwork out of it for us. So normally this would be a crazy, crazy time of the year, but now it's busy, mainly because of the elections.
As we go into winter, what is the most pressing issue for the commissioners?
Heat, especially in my office.
I thought you meant for people that needed help with heat. You're talking about your feet getting cold.
You asked us for the commissioners directly.
Heat.
They can't get the heat to my office. Now, I don't know it's because I have a corner office with windows on both sides,
okay,
or because I'm the minority commissioner, I only get so much heat. I haven't figured it out yet, but...
Public safety.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
I mean, my office.
Dan.
I actually just put a space heater in my office yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a little
Yes.
cold. But public safety, we have a variety of issues regard to winter. We only have so many roads and a lot of bridges. Every year we have issues when it comes to calling employees out to take care of those roads. So
snow removal, and those kinds of things
ice removal,
is challenging.
So we work hand in hand with our Department of Public Works Director Dan Colville, our law department, Garen Fidelis and Nate Morgan, because obviously we have collective bargaining agreements that restrict a few things, but we have to make sure that we maintain that. And of course, I'm sure Commissioner Manning, Commissioner Amadeo will agree. We deal with the homeless shelter.
Warming centers.
Okay. Whenever this weather gets cold. So.
Yeah, I agree with Dan. Public safety is big, and there's some infrastructure projects that the weather will determine whether they get completed that are critical at this point in time, also related to public safety.
Right.
But
we have a real
that's
big
the
one
biggest
right
challenge
now.
this time of year. But getting the concrete work done around the courthouse, some of the paving that we need to get done, some handicap spots. There's a lot of moving parts, and there's a short window to get those things completed, and they all impact accessibility and the safety of people being able to exit and enter the courthouse. And then you've got Election Day coming up in the middle of that, so it really complicates our ability to get some work done.
Yeah, because of American Recovery, we've been really, really busy this year, trying to
in a good way because we have the money to do.
And
to solve
fixing
some
the
problems.
roof, putting the heating ventilation systems up there, replacing the steps, redoing the concrete. As Jack alluded to, the handicap spots that we're building. So we really been, a lot of hands-on direct meetings with infrastructure.
Tony Amadeo and Jack Manning and Dan Camper, my guest, is Ask the Commissioners. You can call with questions. I got plenty, but you can call 724-843-1888 or 774-1888. How hamstrung are you, or how difficult is it continuing to be because of no budget out of Harrisburg?
Well, we've seen little difference really with our operations because, again, most of the human services stuff has flowed through or is in a spot where they can function, at least our departments. Now, some of the nonprofits that depend on that maybe scramble a little bit, but I'm not seeing or hearing a whole lot about that.
Back in the old days, we used to be really in trouble. But the legislature has seen fit to release certain monies that directly affect people. And so it makes it easier on it. There was a time where we had to go out and borrow money.
Really?
Yes, to maintain the budgets because the money wasn't flowing. But like I said, apparently, I don't know if it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they changed the laws. And whenever there's no budget, what can be spent, what can be spent, and what can't be spent. And human services is one of the ones where the money's released.
How is the tracking done with the money? Because if there's no budget and there's money, if you don't have a budget, you don't have it to spend. But this is okay. It sounds like a good idea, but how much more convoluted does the process come?
I don't know. You'd have to ask
it's
Jim
the
Marshall,
directors,
Josh Kale.
Yeah, the
Rob
office
Matsey,
of the
Elder
budget
Vogel
handle
about that. Yeah.
They do pass. I don't want to call it a temporary budget, but it's
Stopgap.
Commissioner Amadeo mentioned, to make sure that they fund the essential needs of human services. But we are seeing that our nonprofits and these individuals who get grants every year, that's what's being held up. And we hear about that. Those calls you talk about every day we get, we hear about that, whether it's a developer looking for RCAP grants that you help see industrial parks being built, or the homeless shelter in Beaver County. They might be applying for some sort of grants that are held up. But the essential needs of human services, behavioral health, children youth services, office of aging, that money's still coming through.
They're still funding that.
What went well this year for Beaver County through your office, and what can we get better at?
Geez, I don't know where to start. I mean, first of all, when you do get $92 million of our money back from federal government, it gives you a lot of ability to improve some things.
I love that phrasing, getting our money back.
Well, it is. The Treasury gave us our money back to spend in Beaver County, which we've done, I think, a great job ensuring that 80 to 90% of that money goes back to the communities, goes back to the municipalities, goes back into building up infrastructure, goes back into things like, the radios for fire and police, solving some long-term problems that we had the funding to do. So all of that, I think, went pretty well. And it was really spread out proportionally by population, by community. I think that went really, really well.
Yeah, the money was
for us.
allocated. It's not spent yet. I mean, they have parameters that they have to follow, and once the parameters are followed and the job's done and the bills come in, then we can pay it out.
You said we had to take out a loan, we being Beaver County?
Beaver County, yes.
Well, that was 8 to 10 years ago.
Okay,
That was long
I'm
ago.
just
12
curious.
years ago, maybe.
We talking about the TAN notes?
No.
I'm sorry.
No, we had to borrow money specifically to fund human services.
That predates, I think, Dan and I by quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, you might not know, but I'm curious, what kind of interest rate does Beaver County get? Do we have a good credit score?
Yes, we
We do.
Yeah,
It improved over the last 4 years, actually, which was quite a milestone, and it's a credit to some previous administrations as well. But having our bond rating, Moody's bond rating.
Who decides that?
That there's a group, Standard & Poor's, that
It would have been
evaluate all of your data, all of your financial information, and they give you a credit rating score. And we went from triple B plus to A minus.
But it didn't come out right away because of COVID. They held back on it.
What is a triple B plus?
It's pretty good.
I would have taken it in school forever.
AAA is the top rating, and it keeps going down from there, and they have pluses and minuses on that.
Back in the day, we were usually AA.
All right, and then your enrollment got bigger, and you had to go up a division.
Well, Beaver County government used to be really large at one time. People forget. When I first got on, we had 1,500 employees.
What existed then?
The nursing home.
That doesn't exist now. What do you mean?
Nursing home. That was the big fact. That was the big factor, the nursing home. I used to have meetings with boards of doctors, and it was really intense at one time. But what happened, the state kept cutting back on reimbursements, and it became economically infeasible for a county government to stay in nursing home management. So if you notice, if you look around, most counties have gotten out of the nursing home business.
Mm-hmm. And the loan's a common thing that governments do. It's a tax anticipation note, meaning that eventually you're going to collect something to pay off that loan. It's a short-term thing. In our case, I think we did have to do it once since I've been here in the last 8 years, early in my first term. What it is you borrow the money. These financial institutes have special loans for that. And then once the money comes from Harrisburg, whether we pay it back through the tax, once it comes from Harrisburg, then it gets paid back very quickly. It's just a stopgap.
Yeah. And it's usually low interest.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like the commercials where I get paid 2 days before I get paid.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like that?
Only if you have Social Security.
Oh, well, okay. Fair is fair.
Don't know.
Ask the commissioners. It's Teleforum, Jack Manning and Tony Amadeo and Dan Camper with me. You can call 724-843-1888 if you've got questions. More with them after news on Teleforum on Beaver County Radio.
Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center in Midland presents Disney's Freaky Friday the Musical, one-act edition, November 10th through the 19th, part of the Clearview Federal Credit Union subscription series. For tickets, visit LincolnParkArts.org.
Do you have low back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, or foot ankle pain? Many of these conditions could be prevented by simply working on flexibility as much as strength. Dale Reckless at MRS Physical Therapy is happy to announce a new one-on-one assisted stretching experience, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, or PNF, a stretching technique utilized to increase range of motion and flexibility by increasing the length of the muscle and increasing neuromuscular efficiency. A flexible body is the core basic need for our body to function well, and we tend to omit this important component and skip over to strength and conditioning. Even people with balance issues as they age may prevent exacerbation of their condition if they work on their flexibility. Book a 25-minute PNF session today and call MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater and Cranberry. Visit mrsphysicaltherapy.com for more information.
Tune into the Coach's Corner on Beaver County Radio every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. You can tune in by turning your radio dial to Beaver County Radio or by clicking the audio streaming apps on your phone or computer. You can also watch the video stream of the show on Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel. The Coach's Corner is being brought to you by Keystone Wellness Program, Patriot Home Care, the Grand Valley Inn, the Community College of Beaver County, the Beaver County Career and Technical Center, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, St. Barnabas Dental and Dr. Peter J. Montini, Goldberg, Persky and White, Friendly Federal Credit Union, the J&J Spratt Funeral Home, Geneva College, Carver Construction, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca, Beaver County Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Nissan, McGee Heating and Air Conditioning, Fisher's New Brighton Foodland, and Beaver County Radio.
Kids across America are going to school hungry. Millions of kids every day. Hungry kids get sick more often and can struggle in school. It can be harder for them to focus and learn. But one simple thing can help change all of this for a hungry child in America. Good, healthy food and the energy it brings. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures.
We want to ensure that all of our kids have healthy meals every day.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping feed our kids.
To learn more about
Hi,
eating
folks.
child hunger
I'm with our good friend John Diagardi from Roe Monument. John, you were telling me earlier that people really should not rush into choosing a memorial for their loved one. Now, why is that?
We found that families need to take ample time to grieve first. Grief is not something that we get over, but rather something that we learn to live with. So the length of time to grieve varies from person to person.
You mentioned that the monument can't be placed right away.
That's right. There are certain things that need to take place before a monument can be installed. So it's really worth taking time to think about how to plan and design a memorial that truly reflects a person's life. It's actually a healing activity that helps to alleviate grief.
John, this makes a lot of sense.
It does. And when the time is right to proceed, not only can Roe Monument help families choose and design their memorial, we can help them save as much as 50% by eliminating the middleman.
Thank you, John. Folks, you can learn more simply by visiting RoeMonuments.com.
What is dedication?
I am the father of a 9-year-old little girl and a 6-year-old little boy, and I find fatherhood both relentlessly challenging and relentlessly rewarding. My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much, from the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night, and every moment in between. It really is so special, and boy, is it exhausting. One thing that I fear about being a parent is the future for my children. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings. But I'm also hopeful that the future holds a more inclusive and compassionate world for them.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Looking for something that's more than just a job? Then this good news is for you. PA Connected Communities helps people with intellectual disabilities and autism by using fun activities like cooking, pottery, and volunteerism to learn valuable skills. PACC is hiring for full-time and part-time in Beaver, Butler, and surrounding areas. When was the last time you got paid to go bowling, the movies, swimming, or doing a community service project? If you're looking for a great job where you can help others improve their life skills, gain independence, and participate in community activities, all while having fun and get paid nicely too, then visit pacc.org.
Tune in every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. for another insightful edition of Living Well, a special segment on Beaver County Radio designed to help you enjoy the best, most fulfilling, and healthiest life possible. Hosted by Dr. Joseph Maroon and Jeff Boast, and presented by St. Barnabas. Living Well, Saturday mornings at 8:30. Right here on Beaver County Radio, WBVP Beaver Falls, WMVA Ambridge, along with 99.3 FM and 95.7 FM. Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMVA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com. Here's Curtis Walsh.
Good morning. We can expect sunny skies with a high near 46 degrees today. We'll have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after this look at news. New funding of $49,000 will allow an Aliquippa-based nonprofit group to move forward with the planning and design of a community food hub, according to State Representative Rob Matze. Matze said the funding to the Riverwise Group will help Beaver County make inroads against a persistent community issue. Connecting folks who are struggling to an easily accessible network of fresh food helps us make inroads against food insecurity, Matze said. The funding is part of a statewide grant package administered by the State Department of Agriculture through the Pennsylvania Farm Bill's Urban Agriculture Infrastructure Grant Program to expand the supply of fresh food in underserved neighborhoods. The City of Beaver Falls Fire Department announced they will be holding a competitive entry-level test for the position of firefighter EMT code enforcement officer. Applications can be picked up now through Wednesday, November 22nd. The 2024 starting salary will be $46,367 with a benefits package and pension plan. Applications can be picked up at beaverfallspa.org or on the second floor of the city building located at 715 15th Street in Beaver Falls between 8:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. The Shapiro administration has announced the start of the 2023-24 Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program season, also known as LIHEAP. LIHEAP is a federally funded program administered by DHS that helps with home heating bills so Pennsylvanians with low incomes can stay warm and safe during the winter months. Assistance is available for renters and homeowners. The LIHEAP application period for both cash and crisis grants is open from November 1st through April 5th. A jury in Illinois has ordered Chicago-based Conagra Brands to pay $7.1 million to a Pennsylvania woman who was badly injured in 2017 when a can of cooking spray ignited in a commercial kitchen at her workplace and set her on fire. Conagra Brands is the parent company of Pam and many other high-profile food brands. A Cook County Circuit Court jury ruled Monday that the company must pay compensatory and punitive damages to Tammy Reese of Shippensburg. According to a lawsuit, Reese suffered deep second-degree burns on her head, face, arms, and hands when suddenly and without warning a can of cooking spray exploded into a fireball. And a court says Pennsylvania can't enforce a regulation to make power plant owners pay for their planet-warming greenhouse gas emissions. The ruling Wednesday by the Commonwealth Court is another setback for the centerpiece of former Governor Tom Wolf's plan to fight global warming. The court temporarily blocked it last year, and the new ruling makes that decision permanent. The plan would have made Pennsylvania the first major fossil fuel-producing state to adopt a carbon pricing program. The court agreed with Republican lawmakers and correlated interests that the plan amounted to a tax that would require legislative approval. It would be up to Wolf's successor, Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro, to decide whether to appeal.
The best of Beaver County is easy to discover. It's right here on your radio. Tune in Beaver County Radio or watch the Best of Beaver County live on Facebook or YouTube video this and every Thursday from 11 to 11:30. The program is made possible by St. Barnabas. For over 3 years now, the show has been dedicated to shining light on the great things going on right here in your neighborhood and the people that are making it happen. This Thursday, enjoy conversation and insight from an intriguing lineup of guests who are creating excitement and having an impact right here in Beaver County. Your friends and neighbors at St. Barnabas are pleased to support the Best of Beaver County. The radio broadcast will also be replayed each week from 11:30 to noon on Sundays on Beaver County Radio. Archived Best of Beaver County videos can be viewed on the WBVP WMBA Facebook page. It's your chance to encounter the best of Beaver County with host Mike Romai this Thursday starting at 11. For more information, visit beavercountyradio.com. Here's the Beaver County forecast on 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
We can expect sunny skies today with a high near 46 degrees, partly cloudy tonight going down to a low of 32. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a high near 55, partly sunny Saturday with a high near 56, and partly sunny on Sunday with a high near 59. On this Thursday, November the 2nd of 2023, at 36 after 9, we've got a temperature of 34 degrees with sunny skies in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Curtis Walsh on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Talk about what's happening in Beaver County or around the world on Teleforum. 724-843-1888. 724-774-1888. It's Teleforum with Eddie Crow.
If you have questions for the commissioners, today is the day. Asking the commissioners. You can also post your questions on the live Facebook feed. Dan Camp is here. Tony Amadeo is here. Jack Manning is here. The phone is ringing. Hi. Do you have a question for the commissioners?
Yes, sir, I do. Good morning, commissioners. If a local police agency picks up a juvenile offender...
Can you guys hear? You don't know? Okay. That's because I'm deaf. Yeah. If a juvenile offender picks up
1 year from today, will the police have someplace to take them?
Excellent question. I'll rephrase it. If a juvenile offender gets picked up 1 year from today, are the police going to have somewhere to take him? They're talking about the detention center.
Yeah, it all depends on availability and the severity of the crime. This is a question I think the district attorney, both the candidate and the current district attorney, are struggling with. Depending on what the juvenile's picked up for, it will go through juvenile probation along with the district attorney's office to look for a facility. We are at a shortage of facilities, as everyone knows. It's a crisis in the Commonwealth, not just Beaver County. If the crime meets the criteria, we can hold them at the Beaver County Jail. The individual will be held segregated from adult population because of
all manner of potential problems.
Yes, and we have the capability of doing that, but we only have the capability of holding, I believe, 2.
That's it for the juveniles being charged as an adult category.
So the segregation unit for underage, there's 2 beds. Or 1 room.
There is a capability to isolate, according to the law.
Right.
Juveniles are being charged for an adult as an adult for a crime. Lawrence County, we anticipate. I think the question implies, is anything going to be different a year from now than it is now in the availability of Dutch? Yes, for those cases that we just mentioned, we think Lawrence County is opening a facility to do that. We're in negotiations to reserve some space there. Are things going to be fundamentally better for the issue we have with those charges and the bed availability? I would hope it's better a year from now, only because if Schumann opens and other things, Allegheny County will take some of the strain out of the system by opening that facility. But we don't have a solution for all of the issues with the availability of beds yet. And I don't know that if we're going to have a good solution a year from now or not. But I think it will be better because I do think some of the strain on the system will be relieved.
The problem is when the police arrest the juvenile for a lesser crime, not necessarily a major crime, they have 12 hours to place them. And if they don't place them, it's basically catch and release.
12 hours.
6 hours.
6 hours.
They have to be
hours.
released within 6 hours.
6 hours. Yeah.
So they have to, our juvenile services are on the phone looking for the availability of beds. They go through this rubric that says, yes, this person should be detained. If they can't find a bed within 6 hours, they have to be released.
We were talking about two, and that's why.
Well, you're talking about the space for two.
Yep.
Is it going to be better? What's best case scenario
I hope
here
it's
from
better
now?
because there are some other facilities, and everybody's talking about the issue regionally. Westmoreland, Butler, Lawrence, ourselves. I mean, we're all
You've
talking about
spoken
the
before
issue.
about the consolidation of services out of necessity.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a consensus from the other counties that they want to go in on building new or doing something different. And I don't know that we can afford to do that timely and effectively enough. But there are these other facilities that are out there. One of the biggest problems, quite frankly, Eddie, is the resources. There are facilities in Mercer County that are operating at 30 to 40% capacity because they don't have enough staff to handle the other rooms that they have
Okay, so
available.
it's not the floor space needed, it's the staff needed.
Like
The
everything, it's
staff, the workforce.
multifaceted.
Okay.
It's multifaceted. Yeah.
We just had this discussion at our monthly prison board meeting down at the jail in late October. Of it gets brought up once a month. What can we do? And as Commissioner Manning said, we've all met regionally. We met with southwestern counties to see what we could do, and the issue was there's places that closed, and we're not talking Allen Crest. We're talking just recently have closed. Westmoreland just closed one due to staffing. Not because they couldn't fill the beds, but the staffing. There's different staffing standards whenever you're dealing with children,
right?
Or youth. I'm sorry, not children. So it's an issue across the Commonwealth that we're trying to deal with as much as we can as commissioners. We're all invested into helping the better cause. Public safety is one of our biggest things we like to make sure we see come to fruition. But at the end of the day, we have to work with our surrounding counties.
724-843-1888 if you would like to call and ask a question. Tony, if you plug those headphones in or turn them up, they're in. Yeah. You should be able to hear the question. If not, I'll repeat it. Okay. Hi, thank you for calling Teleforum. What's your question for the commissioners?
Hey, Eddie. It's DJ Fry. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, DJ Fry.
Hey, I got a question. I got a real serious question for the three commissioners, but more importantly, I have a comment, and I'll lead off with my comment. I want to thank all three commissioners for an outstanding job. I think the county right now, as we speak today, is in a wonderful position, and all three of them, just witnessing firsthand on how all three work collectively together for this county is a tremendous thing to take in, and our county leadership is so strong top to bottom. So I want to commend all three of them. More importantly, I want to wish everybody the best of luck next week. So hopefully we can continue to build on the foundation that these three gentlemen have already cemented and you put in place here at the county. With that being said, my real important question for all three is this, and I'll go ahead and handicap it before I ask.
Okay.
By saying that Commissioner Amadeo would be on the odds-on favorite to be the best one due to his experience in the classroom with student management. But my serious question for all three is, out of the three commissioners, who would be the best school bus driver and why?
I think it would be me.
DJ.
Who'd be the best bus driver?
I actually was a school bus driver when while I was working on my degree my senior year. I got my driver's license, and I would come home from California on weekends and do runs. I would take the Friday run, and then whatever football games were involved, and I actually took groups up to Pittsburgh for games. So yes, that would be me. I got a funny story to tell you one day, and I don't want to say it on the radio, but it involves my youthful appearance.
Well, that makes it more interesting now. Wait, you got pulled over driving a bus.
They were looking for me because some parent called in and said, "There's a kid, 16-year-old kid driving a school bus, picking up kids, and
party bus.
You got to do something about it." So, and I drove the Potter Township run, which was the first one out and last one in. So when I finally got in, there was 2 police cars, state trooper cars waiting for me. And I opened up my door, and the state trooper looked up and said, "Son, you better be 21 years old."
Yes, sir.
Which I was.
I think it all depends on what size bus it is. Now, Fried Transportation probably has many different sizes, including vans.
Right.
I
can handle a van.
Yeah. DJ, thanks for those kind words. We can hear them through Eddie's headset here. We really appreciate that, and we're happy to see residents in Beaver County see the job that we're doing. But, we have to thank you as well. Your job's not easy. Getting our kids to school safe, hundreds of families rely on you and your employees every day. We appreciate that. Just this morning, every morning I watch my son get on the bus. Then I get a call from my Aunt Pat that says, "You're on the radio. You're supposed to be there at 9, and it's 8:45.
Yeah.
So, we appreciate what you do and what your family has done for Beaver County.
And you're a pleasure to listen to because you're always so upbeat.
Yeah, he is. It's quite off-putting. DJ.
I appreciate it, guys. One thing about Beaver County is the partnership and the friendships. And we always say the only thing that separates us is our bridges and rivers. So, again, I appreciate all 3 of you. Nothing but continuous success, happiness, but more importantly, good luck next week. And I think in closing, the one thing that we can all agree on, the 3 of you at that table right now would be by far better bus drivers than Eddie Crow.
I was honest to goodness, DJ. I was about to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate me as a potential bus driver? Having been around me a little bit, if you give me anything above a 3, I appreciate the lie.
Eddie, we've talked about this before. I think we were hovering right around 2.5 to 3.
That's fine.
But if you get Eddie in a bus, we need flotation devices in there. We need light helmets, mouthpieces, and the whole 9
yards. Keep in mind, Eddie, this is the guy who thought you were in a bear costume for Halloween and not a beaver costume. So I'm not sure he's the best judge of your capability there.
I called Eddie Bear for 2 weeks, and then he pulled that tail off, and then I realized he was a beaver. So,
and it's
Beaver.
You start pulling on tails, that's the behavior that don't get you a bus driver gig, too.
Yep.
That's that. Awesome, guys. Hey, listen, again, thank you for what you guys do. The leadership is outstanding. And again, best of luck. God bless next week, and let's keep this county rolling, guys. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
DJ, very much appreciate you calling. DJ Fry of Fry Transportation. 2.5, just like my grade point average. I'm fine. I'm solid with that. How much progress did this county make this year? Well, overall, just a general question. Jack, if you want to go first, you can, or Tony or Dan.
Sounds like a question my wife, and I always answer, it depends on who you're talking to.
It depends on who you ask, sure. I want to ask the source. You're right, but you guys are the conduit for a whole lot of different things going on, so you've got a much better perspective.
It really is for others to judge at the end of the day. I feel we have given the best effort we can to move the county forward with some of the things that were thrown at us. Everybody, the old Mike Tyson thing, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
Well, we got punched in the mouth
a
couple of times right when we started. You get hit with COVID, you have those issues. You get hit with the recession that happens. You get hit with a train derailment. And I think we've responded tremendously to those overcame some pretty big obstacles to move the county forward despite those setbacks that could have and have impacted other counties not as bad as us. So comparatively, I think we've done pretty well. I think we've moved forward, like we said, on infrastructure, on broadband, on public safety with the radios. I mean, we covered all the ground that we said we were going to do. And it's still a work in progress. You're never done. This is an evergreen process. You're never usually more than halfway to where you want to go with these things. But I think we've made tremendous progress.
You mentioned the train derailment.
Yeah.
Recently, that's been in the news. They're almost done cleaning here. They're probably close to done cleaning there. Are you pleased? Are you comfortable with the level of commitment that Norfolk Southern has continued to show? Whether it was pride upon them or not, do you feel like they're still good stewards of what they're trying?
Am I satisfied?
Right.
Yes. Are they done? Not even close to being done, in my mind.
Do they know that they're not even close?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they're aware of the long-term ramifications of this. But getting back to your original question, we don't always agree, but we agreed to not to disagree publicly. We don't carry on. We don't argue. We make sure the government flows properly. And that's what I'm the most proud of, how we manage the government.
Civility?
Yes. Remember, civics teachers.
I know it's inbred. What should I have asked any of you that I didn't ask you today? Because I had a lot of questions and I covered most of them. Jack, what is the book?
Well,
For those of you watching on video, Jack's got a book in front of him, and he's been
last night was the
through.
Chamber's Business of the Year Awards, and that's one of the things I think that makes us all proud, because everybody that came up there talked about the collaboration. So Heritage Valley winning the large business thing, and Norm's up there talking about how CCBC and the commissioners, how we all came on board and helped get through the pandemic and all the great work that they do. A guy like Matt Dawson gets the Citizen of the Year Award. Matt's engaged in so many things. I mean, it was just so refreshing to see so many people get recognized for the awesome work that they do as public servants and community servants day after day. And that's all. I just wanted to acknowledge some very great people and organizations. Genesis Collective got an award. Rolling Acres got an award. It was just good to see all the People's Gas and different folks be recognized for all the great work they do that makes Beaver County an awesome place to live. So
and these are people that don't get recognition on a daily basis. Nobody knows they're doing the work.
They're taken for granted. I mean, the Heritage Valley's taken for granted a lot. I mean, we'd have been stuck without Heritage Valley for most of those years. And I know Norm was in contact with Dan constantly and everybody. We coordinated those things. Very, very proud to have them right up the road from us.
Are we a county that does more than other counties?
Absolutely.
When you're talking about thankless service, a lot of times we're ahead of the curve with that.
Yeah.
I spoke a little too soon. I can't answer that question. Jack might be able to answer because he was part of the chamber, the Pennsylvania chamber as well. But when you talk about what we do for our county, and this isn't a pat on our back, this is a pat on every employee in the courthouse and every elected official, we invest back into our county, and we're proud of that. As both Commissioner Manning and Commissioner Medeo said earlier, that $92.5 million that we received from the ARP, we put almost all of it back into our communities
90%.
Because we felt that was the right thing to do. We could have kept up to 47% of that back and used it for county resources, but we chose not to.
You were allowed to keep almost half?
Yes.
Oh yeah, but by
their
way
calculations,
the guidelines
yeah.
for revenue loss, tax revenue loss, all kinds of
inflation.
Things. Inflation. There was an automatic.
We gave it to businesses that probably wouldn't be in existence today had they not gotten it.
And the municipalities. I mean, we've earmarked a lot, as Tony said, to the municipalities to help rebuild. We have some aging infrastructure, and we want to see it get funded.
Are we back to the before time? Are we functioning as efficiently as we were before COVID, before March 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
other than trying to get inside the courthouse.
Yeah.
But we'll be there soon.
Hopefully.
Gentlemen, thank you. Always great dealing with you. I think DJ's right. Tony he'd be a bus driver, that'd be your buddy, but if you had to snatch him up, you'd snatch him up, wouldn't you?
I drove a school bus when it was a 4-speed. You had a shift, up shift, down shift the whole time. But I'm prior to air
Wait,
brakes.
now was that uphill in the snow both ways?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have trouble backing up my lawn tractor, so I don't think you want me backing up a bus with kids on it someplace.
When you were a teacher in the 70s, you had to do a lot of extra things to survive.
Those bell bottoms weren't cheap, were they?
No. I drove a limousine.
Did you
to
really?
survive, yes.
Was it worse then than now? Because teachers made me who I am today in large part. Yes. You see teachers saying, to heck with it, I'm going to go bartend.
I worked in the mill. I left my job in the mill. If I had finished out that year, I probably would have made with bonus $32,000 that year.
Sweet.
I quit, took my teaching job. My first contract prorated, $6,800. My father wouldn't talk to me for a long, long time.
Well, and it's even tougher to say, Dad, can you lend me a few till payday?
Well,
that's a demonstration. Yeah. That's not a job. That's a calling.
Love.
Yeah. Jack Manning, Tony Amadeo, bus driver. And Dan Camp, my guest on Ask the Commissioners on Beaver County Radio.
Beaver County High School football has always been known as the best high school football around. And again this year, everybody around the world will get to hear the action on Beaver County Radio. The WPIL playoffs get underway this Friday night, and Beaver Falls will travel to Keystone Oaks in the first round of the Class 2A playoffs. Coverage on Beaver County Radio begins at 6:30. Kickoff is set for 7. You can listen to the coverage of the WPIL